I'm going to teach you how to pump your crypto bags by running your own Psyop, just like the government does. Yes, I'm serious. Give me 15 minutes and I'll explain. I'll prove it to you, but it starts with a story about Reddit and the Wayback Machine proving something very revealing that the elites are currently using to Psyop you, probably, to this very day. A lot of the beliefs you have might not even be your own. They've been given to you deliberately by platforms like Reddit. Now, what's so weird about Reddit? Well, this is from 2014 in the Wayback Machine. They deleted this post. I wonder why. This post was about Reddit Meetup Day, in which they highlighted the most addicted Reddit cities in the entire USA. Now, you've got top cities obviously being like New York, Chicago, LA. But for the individual most addictive cities, look what data they accidentally exposed briefly on redditblog.com. Oak Brook seems like a normal place. South St. Paul, Minnesota, pretty normal. Now, Eglin Air Force Base. Why does Eglin Air Force Base, with a population of just over 2,000 people, account for over 100,000 visits in whatever time span they were sampling? Why is a military base viewing so much Reddit? With only 3,000 people, that would be a lot of hours and phones per person for every individual to be using Reddit with like 30 alt accounts. Now we can go look at the Eglin Air Force Base and see that the 96th Test Wing has a very interesting cyberspace test group that leads the Organization for Developmental Testing, and basically the PsyOps division, okay? And I could point you to a study as well, where the title is Containment Control for a Social Network with State-Dependent Connectivity. And who was the author of the study? Air Force Research Laboratory, Eglin Air Force Base, Florida. This is all the way back from 2012, and it was made public on 2015. Now, the abstract of this paper is about social interactions and how they influence our thoughts, opinions, and actions. Stay with me. I'm going to tie this all back into your own bags and pumping your bags in crypto to make you money. So this paper studies individuals and how they're influenced by leaders and followers to maintain a certain social state, which can be an emotional state or an opinion. So propaganda is what we're talking about, how to influence public opinion by using social media. Now, they try to use a bunch of big words like fractional order systems, but the point of this study was to make a decentralized influence method developed to maintain existing social influence between individuals and to influence the social group to a common desired state with a convex hull spanned by social leaders. PsyOps. So what are social interactions? So social interactions influence our emotions, opinions, and behavior. And they say, straight up here, if you can get past all the nerd speak, technological advances in social media provide more rapid, convenient, and widespread communication among individuals. All the better to psyop you with. Psychological operations. That's what that stands for. For example, recent riots and ultimately revolution have been facilitated through social media like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and even BlackBerry messaging. Marketing agencies have also begun to take advantage. Now you, watching this video, will shortly be able to understand the influence that you have and your ability to take advantage of controlling the narrative rather than being a helpless victim and being controlled by whoever's pulling the strings. You really can shape the world to how you want it, so stick with me. When making a decision or forming an opinion, individuals tend to communicate with parents, friends, or colleagues, but this paper examines how such methods can be leveraged to manipulate a social network online, investigating how peer pressure from social leaders can affect consensus beliefs. For example, all the psyops trying to get you to leverage trade, notice how everybody's talking about Aster all of a sudden. Well, they're getting paid to. But what are they getting paid to do? To populate social media algorithms, which then influence AI optimization engines, and ultimately what people perceive as being the truth. So a lot of people come to crypto and they think, oh, crypto's all leverage trading. Look at all these wonderful traders that have, faked, doctored screenshots of all their millions of dollars of profit. It's crazy how all the KOLs are always so profitable and always tend to get interested in the same things at the same times. This week it's Aster, next week it'll be whatever else they're getting paid to influence. So the Air Force Base at Eglin is studying how an interaction algorithm can be developed such that the social behavior can be driven to a desired end. How they can change your mind and make you think stuff. But look, this isn't just a tactic for the military. It's just marketing. It's influencing public opinion. You too can influence public opinion with your own voice, with your own keyboard. So yes, this video is for you, you Reddit keyboard warriors. For those of you that aren't completely miserable out there, you can pull yourself up out of the trenches and get your power back when you realize the control that you actually have. So we know the Eglin Air Force Base is working to investigate how peer pressure from social leaders affect consensus beliefs, and this can be emotional states making you feel a certain way about a certain cryptocurrency, purchasing decisions, what coin you buy, political affiliation. Crypto is all of this in one. Okay, crypto is like sports teams meets religion meets stocks. It's tribal, but there's a money component attached to it. Vitalik Buterin said, what if the Mac Windows debate, which is already a huge debate for no reason, what's better, Mac or Windows? It's personal preference. Yet people go to war endlessly online. They wake up and they think that this is the most important issue of their day. There are people like this out there. Now, what if every Mac that you bought had $1,000 in Mac coin associated with it, and every Windows machine you bought had $1,000 of Windows coin associated with it. Well, you'd be even more emotionally invested and outraged when anybody tells you to buy a Mac, but you're a Windows guy. So you see the rage bait on X. A lot of you guys fall for it. But you can be the one pulling the strings and not be the puppet. You can be the puppet master. It is possible. So a group of individuals evolves under the influence of social leaders. They don't have to be directly connected. They can be connected by a couple degrees of separation and still come to a consensus belief. This is why the PulseChain community is so powerful, because we don't realize how big of an amoeba we have become, especially on Twitter. But I want to shift everyone's attention from Twitter, or X, to Reddit. Now, Reddit is a cesspool. If you're like me, you probably hate it. But if you change your viewpoint, like I recently changed my viewpoint on Reddit and said, what if you could actually control the narrative rather than just avoid it and leave it for the cesspool of misery that it is? What if you went in there and played the dirty game that the government and many agencies, CIA, NSA, play the same games that are probably already being played? This goes into my last tweet. Reddit feeds AI results. This is a study from SEMrush based on 150,000 citations on AI. So what happens when people are researching nowadays? They go to Google, yes, but recently they now ask AI what is going on. They ask AI what to think. And of course, you can bias AI. AI gets to know you, and eventually it'll tell you what you want to hear, which we see a lot of people doing. We see a lot of people outsourcing their thinking completely to AI, which inevitably does become a confirmation bias machine, just like Twitter does, just like Google does. But look at where AI gets its info. This is from, again, 150,000 citations of 5,000 randomly selected keywords from the SEMrush database. Now, X is not on here. I guess AI doesn't think that X is a very credible source of information. It's funny, I wonder if maybe 4 or 5 years ago, X would have been up here, if not for a certain buyer taking over and a certain purging of various rats within X as a platform. Now, you've still got all the other establishment players, YouTube, Google, Facebook, even Yelp, surprisingly, Amazon. But look at the very top. Wikipedia, Reddit. Two of the most compromised social media platforms. Remember, why is Eglin Air Force Base the most addicted Reddit city, and why was this article 10 years ago quickly deleted for accidentally reporting the true facts for a hot minute? Well, probably because Reddit has guys on the inside. Now, what if you were the guy on the inside trying to pump your own bags? Wouldn't you want AI search results to be influenced positively when other people are looking to outsource their opinion to an artificial intelligence? So when you see posts out there, like this one, for example, on the Ethereum subreddit, this was removed by the moderator, actually, probably for being too successful. Somebody had made a post on the Ethereum subreddit about receiving an LCD writing tablet in the mail. Now, we've got a lot of pro PulseChain enthusiasts and Ethereum enthusiasts saying positive things, and another group of miserable people calling it a scam, being ungrateful for their $10 free gift. And look, you've got people saying not a scam, people saying where's the scam, and of course somebody just arbitrarily shouting scam, as is the sort of digital Tourette syndrome that Reddit seems to breed. Now, if we go to an AI and ask it, what does it think about PulseChain? I'm at Venice.ai. It's an uncensored model, for one. For two, I am a guest on this AI. I'm going to show you an example. I'm a guest here, so it's not being influenced, I would hope, by my other previous search histories on AI platforms where I am logged in. And being uncensored, we can reasonably try to make a few quick prompts about PulseChain, which is my favorite cryptocurrency, and see how AI is influencing it. When I prompt it, tell me about PulseChain and quote sources, Venice correctly states that PulseChain is founded by Richard Hart, it's faced legal challenges, but in a significant development, a judge dismissed the SEC's lawsuit. And what do they cite? When I tell it to cite citations, Cointelegraph and CoinDesk. These news articles have the highest SEO page rank, whether we like it or not. And luckily, there's 5 neutral, if not positive, citations on the Google search engine results page that AI is pulling from to feed and influence public opinion. Now, let's say I prompted even more, because that didn't really tell me what to think. Let's say I asked Venice, tell me if PulseChain is good or bad. We like binary thinking, don't we? Do I like PulseChain? Do I not? I don't have enough time in the day to have a nuanced opinion about any number of things. So good or bad? And use citations. Well, it's good for all these reasons, says AI, and it's bad for all these reasons. But look what they cite in the sources for this. Reddit, 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 Reddit. 7 Reddit citations when I asked a question about what to think, what opinion to have. Not what is it. What is it gives me Google search engine results, which also still can be used to your advantage. For example, if you want to get rid of opinion hit pieces, such as the PulseChain sideshow tent is collapsing, written in 2023, right before the launch, ironically, you can always click the 3 dots on Google, and you can go ahead and remove the result or give feedback that the result is inaccurate content. Let's call it misleading. Clickbait. Clickbait, PulseChain is alive and well. You can do this and it takes 3 seconds, and you can actually influence your own social media search engine results pages for cryptocurrencies that you like. I hope that you watching also like Ethereum, PulseChain Hex, and PulseX just like I do. But this is something that you can do. Now that's more powerful than you might think. But back to the AI, back to the Reddit, because Reddit is clearly influencing AI, as I showed you, with this information, this study done right here. And as I showed you, the government is also onto the fact that Reddit is a good place to have your Air Force cyber security unit be infiltrating for whatever reason. So when you see posts like this on Reddit, this is on r/PulseChain, by the way. This is a PulseChain specific forum for people to talk about PulseChain. Now, obviously, a lot of people are upset that the price isn't going up. But what I see a lot of people doing is shooting themselves in the foot by flooding their own bags. So if your bags are down, guess what? So are mine. So are everybody's. We haven't quite had a predictable alt season like we've seen in the past. Things are a little bit different this time. But instead of bitching and moaning on Reddit and dragging your own public opinion down, you could leave positive comments. Hell, you could make 2 or 3 or 4 Reddit accounts. If every individual had 5 Reddit accounts and made positive posts under simple Reddit threads like this, well, positive opinion would trickle back into Venice like it currently is today. We got price predictions. We've got PulseChain is cool, hilarious and wild saga unfolding right now. We got rugged. Look, all I'm saying is that to be a productive community member, just realize that posting, especially on things like Reddit and Wikipedia, carry significant weight. So even your upvotes, even your responses, they do matter. You can collectively downvote posts that are detracting from the narrative. You can upvote positive posts, and you can leave positive comments as well. And a lot of people might have more than one Reddit account. We know Eglin Air Force Base probably does. Now, Wikipedia is another story. If you have any pull over at Wikipedia, I've tried. It's hard. It's a censorship cesspool over there, and so is Reddit. But if you are a bag holder of a certain cryptocurrency and you go to Reddit to air your grievances, realize that that's going to show up for new people when they are checking AI search results for how to think about something. So leaving positive comments on these platforms, the non-traditional X posting, because as we can see, X doesn't really influence AI results. That's a thinker, that one. But you have the power to influence public opinion. So you can Psyop your crypto bags to the upside by following these very simple steps of positive posting, positive engagement, and hitting other media channels besides X, hitting it where it matters in terms of AI answer engine results. Non-conventional channels of marketing just might actually work. For example, these LCD mailers seem to be getting a lot more Reddit posts than we've had in the past. A lot of crypto Twitter is addicted to their X timeline. And yes, X is a safe place to talk about crypto, censorship free. However, Reddit is also a severe echo chamber when it comes to new people that aren't on Crypto X, God bless their hearts. They're probably very mentally sane, regular normies that don't doom scroll through Twitter all day, or X, but that are getting their results from AI, which again is influenced by these platforms right here, which you have control over. You can doom post, you can shit post, or you can pump your own bags and join the party. The choice is yours. I hope you found this valuable. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. And if you're new to crypto, or if you want any help at all, make sure you subscribe to me over on Twitter. Go over here, click the subscribe button, and you'll get one-on-one access to chat with me if you need any help or tech support about various crypto issues. I've only got 24 hours in the day, but if you do really need help, subscribe to me over on X. I'll see you on the next one.